Hello and welcome to Laurice's Kitchen. It's another bread episode. I'm finally putting together a loaf of sourdough bread using the crazy bitch sourdough starter I began all the way back in the middle of January. Sourdough starter is nothing more than equal parts of flour and water by weight. Although sourdough starter recipes do vary, you essentially feed the sourdough every day over a 5-day period. Unfortunately, for my first attempt, on day 5, my sourdough starter ended up with a catastrophically large amount of alcohol floating on top. That was the end of starter number 1. Starter number 2 worked perfectly. Usually you name starters, but I was reluctant to name mine because the first one ended so badly. After I finally put together my first loaf and it turned out perfectly, I decided the crazy bitch was the perfect name for my sourdough. So let's see what we're gonna need for a loaf of the crazy bitch sourdough bread. Sourdough is very simple. Aside from our starter, all we need is flour, water, salt, and a sweetener. Now normally I would use honey, but because it's so cold in my kitchen, this is my honey. So I'm using light corn syrup instead. I'm also using just a little bit of vital wheat gluten because this is all-purpose flour. Now you could use bread flour or you don't even have to use a wheat gluten at all. I made my first 5 loaves without it and they were delicious. Also, if you're not convinced that your sourdough starter is puffy enough, you can just use a tablespoon of instant yeast in there. This, however, is going to be fine without the yeast. Let's put a loaf of this bread together. This was fed about 4 hours ago. You can see how puffy it is. We need to stir it down before we use it. And we need to use a generous cup. We'll be adding 1 tablespoon of sweetener and 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 1/4 cups of cool water. If you're using the wheat gluten, you can add it in now. Next, we add in 3 cups of flour. Now I didn't sift this, but I did scoop it and fluff it up first. Then we just mix this until it comes together. Okay, we're gonna let this sit for 15 minutes. And after every time you use this, you need to feed it again. So 4 ounces of flour and 4 ounces of water. And we're just gonna mix this, and this stays out at room temperature. I keep mine on the top of my refrigerator. I'll be using the mixer to knead this for the entire process. If you don't have a mixer, it'll probably take about twice as long by hand. Okay, you can see this does not look anything like my normal bread doughs. It is starting to pull away from the sides of the bowl, so this is ready to go. We're gonna put this in a very well greased bowl. Okay, now we just scoop this into this bowl. This is going in my unheated oven to rise until it fills this bowl. That can take close to 6 hours, so this is a very slow process. This is the dough I made this morning. Now, I put this together at 8:30 this morning and it's now almost 2. This is just its first rise. So we're just going to turn this down. I'm going to pull it over, deflate it. I'm no expert. This is just how I do this because it's so sticky. Okay, I'm going to turn it over. All right, this is going back into the unheated oven to rise until it nearly fills this bowl. It's going to take a long time. This is after another 4 hours. So we're going to punch this down, shape it into a ball, and then it's going on a baking sheet covered with a square of parchment paper that I've dusted with a little bit of flour. Okay, so we just want to shape this into a ball. And it's very sticky, so you may need quite a bit of flour. Okay, and then make sure the top is well dusted with flour. This is my lidded 7-quart Dutch oven. This is going in a cold oven to preheat for 40 minutes at 450 degrees with the convection oven on. I'm using a short serrated bread knife to slash the top. Because this is kind of awkward and I don't want to leave the oven open, I'm having Jilly help me. So she's going to open the oven, take the lid off, I'm putting the bread on, and then she's putting everything back in. I am making a chicken, apple, and havarti cheese sandwich with my bread. This is enough to feed 2 people, so Jilly gets the other half when we're done. Let me give this sandwich a taste. I don't even know if I'll be able to say anything. I know it's good. Thank you for visiting Laurice's Kitchen. If you enjoyed this video, give the like button a click and don't forget to leave a comment. We're always happy to hear from you. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and don't keep us a secret. Share our videos with your friends and family. You can follow us on Facebook for behind-the-scenes pics and videos, and on Twitter for upcoming videos and the random cat picture.